Oh, Vince, man, I'm in a good mood tonight. I got on my blue, which is my favorite color, and coming off
Okay.
a good weekend, I had a chance to go home, see some friends from back in the day. I'm going to share something with you in a minute. But anyway, I want to say welcome to Youth Central Sports. I'm Charles Morse with the original, I would say the original Coach Carter. The original Coach Carter. How you doing, Coach?
Good evening. I'm fine. How are you?
Hey, man,
And the
need to be
best to
above
everybody
ground.
that's
I'm
out
great.
there.
You know,
Amen. Amen to
hey,
that.
I was just asking you because for people that don't know, I won't even tell a story about how Vince left me. I talk about being a stepchild, but he's up in Tennessee. He used to be here, but how how's
Right.
things up in Tennessee? How's the weather?
And the weather is pretty good. It's been a little warm lately. We're looking forward to having some rain here very shortly. But it's been really good. Hot kind of remind me a little bit of Florida. But we football's in the air. I mean, our
Okay,
high school football is cranking up. In fact, we have our first football regular season game Friday. We're gonna have pep rally at school. So I tell you what, I passed through the football players' locker room a couple of days ago and smelled that leather, man. I'm excited about football. I was like, oh yeah, it's that time.
oh
It's
yeah.
that
Well, I
time.
mean,
But also,
it, no, no. I was gonna say America get to be. I mean, now it's back to becoming normal because football season is gonna start. So no, like now this time of the year,
yeah,
we really don't know what to do with ourselves, especially late in the summer. School just started here. So things are getting back to normal. I know the parents are happy. Have
yeah, and
school
you know
have
what?
have have school started there?
Oh yeah, we started last Friday.
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to ask
Uh,
you, real quick,
hmm
did you get a chance to see Tiger? Because Tiger did a little something, made people a little nervous last weekend. Did you get a chance to see Tiger? I guess his last round. I guess he
I,
did okay.
I did. I did get a chance to watch a little bit of that. I was really excited. In fact, I was on edge thinking he might have pulled this thing off because he's been inching up tournament by tournament, and I really think that he's going to hit one here very soon. I thought this was it because he played extremely well each and every round that he played. He almost looked like old Tiger there for a minute. So I was excited,
Oh,
and I was really excited. Uh, and the little bit that I watched was a good tournament. I mean, he was neck and neck down to the final hole, which I enjoy watching that. But I was particularly interested in his play, and I thought he did very well. Again, on the edge of my seat, they need.
oh, okay. Well, Vince. Well, listen. Because we're live on Facebook right now. So,
Okay.
I see an old friend from back in the day just tuned. I mean, from way, way, way back in the day. I mean, there's a Rackley in the house. I just want to say hi to Miss Rackley, and there's also Miss Dyer. That's tuning. So you can say hi to Miss Dyer as well, there, Vince.
Well, good evening, Miss Diane. Glad you joined us.
And and the room is full of the ladies, so you can say hi to Miss Williams too, Miss Beverly Williams. You can say hi to Miss Williams.
Ms. Williams, thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you.
All right. Well, listen. Well, this is Youth Central Sports. We come your way every Wednesday at 11 p.m. and where we talk about some of any and everything right here in sports. And this is the one, the true, the first Coach Carter, the first Coach Carter.
The original. The original. Yeah, Charles, I was going to tell you another thing that's exciting about the start of high school football. I
Okay.
mean, that we're counting down the days to the start of high school basketball as well. Already started conditioning and stuff on the basketball side. So as I'm excited for football, I know that this is just a matter of days now. We're starting to count the weeks that we get started for basketball, which will be I think October 31. Or that last Monday that we'll kick off and we'll be off and running. So we're going to have that time when we right in between. We're going to have football going on. We're going to have basketball going on. We got volleyball going on. In fact, they had a game tonight. They've already started, and then we'll run into baseball. So this is getting ready to be exciting.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let me get this thing going here. I was having some problems there with my Facebook, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take care of that. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. But got a couple of questions for you real quick. Let's. You got any
Hmm.
headlines in the NFL?
The NFL right now. I mean, preseason ball. I saw a little bit of preseason ball the other day. Talking. I'm really not watching as closely until they get close to the
Mm.
season when they really start making cuts and stuff there. So the anthem thing seems to be ramped up again about what they're going to do about the national anthem. There's a lot of trading and some injuries and stuff, but I'm waiting for the start of the season.
Well, Vince, I was watching ESPN, and they were talking about this rule that they're coming up with tackling, man. And they was showing some highlights from
Uh-huh.
the preseason, man. Vince, it's gonna
Hmm.
be a long season, bro, because
Got
they football is football, and they're trying to take football out of football, and you can't do it, and it's all about the money. It's all about the money. It's all about the money, and they don't know what to do, Vince. The game is what
well,
it is, but
I
some of
don't
this stuff,
think.
man, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, you've gone through changes in the game over the last several years. They recognize the severity of concussions, what that long term effect has been about. And when you talk about the raw game of football, yes, that has definitely changed because it's not like it was before. And I think there's some sensitivity going to making sure these guys are safe in their profession, just like firefighters wear their equipment and to fight the fire. I think football players have to wear theirs. Is it softening the game a little bit? I don't think it's softening the game, but it's changing the game. And change is necessary for these guys to have long careers. It's just like race car driving. A lot of people, and myself included, kind of and I hate to say it because I don't know, it makes me sound funny, but the crashing is what I want to, I guess, is what I enjoy watching sometime at the rate of speed. But even at that, they have to be safe. And while they got to reduce the number of accidents in order to protect those guys as professionals, I might not like what they're doing, but it's necessary for them to do it. And I think that's what football is doing. It's going to be hard to enforce. I saw a couple of preseason games where the officials got some clear cut rules, but I think it's like anything else. It's going to take an adjustment for those guys to learn to try to do it, and it is different. I heard a defense say that we got to almost learn all over again
Hmm.
of how to tackle and when to tackle, and just like they did with blocking, that when they stopped letting people block below the knee, that was a drastic change in the way you think. But you had to get there because you want your best guys on the field, so you got to protect them. So, but I don't think it's any less of a contact sport than it was before. We just changed the way you're getting hit. You're still getting hit. So I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to enforce it. Are there going to be clear cut decisions, or are we going to have an awful lot of controversy over those calls? But we it's still going to be football though.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's still going to be football.
We'll see. What's interesting is they call a good, hard, clean hit. They throw a flag on it, not because of anything else. It's just a hard hit. And whenever there's a hard hit, and it's like, oh, he hit him hard, so now they throw the flag, like like the guy, like they showed like a one on ESPN this morning, and it was a good clean hit. They were talking about him lowering his head, but he hit him with his shoulder. He didn't hit him with his head. He hit him with his shoulder. But it's
Well,
like, how do you? I'm saying I don't. I mean, I know they got a tough job and it's hard, but
yeah.
I still say, Vince, in the playoffs, somebody gonna be pissed. Watch and see. Watch and see. Something
Well,
gonna come back to bite somebody in the butt because of this rule. Watch and see.
I think anytime you implement any changes, there is a struggle. It's going to be a struggle on the officiating side, trying to make the correct call, the judgment call based on the new rule. And anything that comes close to that's going to be Going to be tough to make. The player himself has got to make a lot of adjustments in a split second. He's got to, raise his head, lower his head, make sure he doesn't make contact with that hat and that guy. I mean, and that's going to be difficult. But if you're going to play the game, you're going to have to abide by the rules, and mistakes will be costly. Uh, there are going to be some wrong decisions that are going to have major impact, but that's the nature of change. It's just going to happen that way. Um, a lot of time, and they're trying. Officials are really trying. They're very sensitive. The league is very sensitive about protecting these guys. They want to have still good, clean football, but want to protect them as well. So it's going to be challenging. It's going to cost some people a game. One of those plays is going to be very, very, very costly. And I really hope, as our season as they start, that nobody gets any severe injuries out there from that sport, because you're going to have nicks and bruises. That's just the nature of how the game is played. But I don't want any career, injuries like that. But the game is a contact sport. It,
Oh
it
yeah.
is it is it is about hitting somebody. And one of the things I remember, and I remember hearing a couple of professional athletes say, when you got me at my best, going after somebody after their best, that's like two trains getting ready to collide. And then skill comes into play, strength comes into play, technique comes into play. It's gonna happen. We're gonna make contact. So, but I I'm still excited about
Oh
the new
yeah. Oh yeah.
season. I think the changes are going to be a challenge on the future. Something else they got to think about. You're going to have to throw the ball better, run the ball better. You're going to have to tackle better and block better. That's not going to be new. So we're just going to see who can do it the best.
What's what's your most memorable hit that you gave, and what's the most memorable hit that you received?
Let's start with the one I received. I was in college.
Okay,
My
let's talk
fresh
about that one.
my fre- Yes, Lord, my freshman year. And we were out there getting ready for the season, coach was moving me around. I was a running back, so I had been on a little bit of offense. So he wanted to try to get me exposed some more. So he put me on punt detail. I was back to receive a punt, and this boy kicked the ball up in the air. It looked like it stayed up there for an awful long time. And by the time I caught the ball and looked up, there looked like the whole team that was down there. And all I remember is taking a step to my left, and the next thing I remember, I was in the bushes. The only thing I can say positive about it, did not fumble a football, but boy,
Okay.
somebody hit me so hard. I guess the reason I clinched the ball and just went sailing, and they just rolled. They left me in the bushes and took the football and went in on and kept right on going. I remember hearing Coach say, "Somebody get that boy out there for me," and I rolled it. I was like, "Oh my God, this is college football." I think my best hit was in high school, my senior year. We were running an offensive play, and there was not quite a sweep, but a dive off the tackle, and the linebacker hid behind his guy. When he jumped to the hole to make the play, I was coming up in the hole, and he didn't see me, or think I was going to be able to make the hit, and I tapped him and ran right over him. So and we went right on down the field too. We went right for a longer. So those two hits stand out in my mind. And I'll add a third hit that I saw. One that I actually witnessed was a guy who went on to play professional football for a short period of time, going over the middle at Virginia State University. They separated the ball, his helmet, and everything all came loose at the same time, and that's something that really stuck in my mind. I was like, "No, I'm not going. I'm not going across the middle for nothing." So those three hits stand out in my mind when it comes to football.
You know what? When you said it, this just came to my mind because we're old school, and when you
Mm,
say like there's so many great athletes that has played sports, no matter whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, because we
mm,
are a now society. Because who's ever on top now, we act like they're the best thing that since sliced bread they ever played to do this, all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. But just a quick question: what did you think of Lawrence Taylor when he played when he was at his prime? Wasn't he something to watch?
I thought he was the essence of the game from the defensive side of the ball. He remind he, and I would go back. I thought Dick Buckers was a headhunter out there, but Lawrence brought so much on the. He was so talented, so quick, so strong, and so vocal in the game. I mean, he really. And I'm an offensive guy, but he
Right,
had me excited about defense, and he brought a certain amount of fear to it. And I love the way he challenged his teammates and had them playing at a high level. I really thought he was fun to watch. LT was something else.
right.
And the other people feared LT. Them other guys on them running backs like myself, running down the field trying to figure out where's LT. before I turn the gas, turn the wheels on, I got to find out where LT is. He close or how far away is he? So yeah, he was something to watch.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, wow. Okay, now we're gonna go to excellence. To what's your overall opinion of Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football? Man? Do you? I mean, have you been following him? Because I know he's right now in the
He's in
concussion
Canada now.
protocol right now.
I I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched him play a little bit when he was in college. I really thought he was uh, overhyped. I thought he had definitely some skill level. He was a skill, but I thought he had too many social issues
Oh yeah.
that were gonna be in his way. And I really didn't think he was playing at the level that they said he was playing at. And but I think once he got in the NFL, he ran into all kind of problems. Then he stayed out for a while. He's gotten rusty now. I think he's trying to make his comeback in the CFL. And I got to be honest, I'm not a fan. I mean, I think he's overhyped.
Well,
A heck of a player. I mean, in terms of competitor, a big
well,
heart.
I mean, when he was in college, when he was in college, but Vince, he's a perfect example. He's a perfect example of the athlete who got to a certain level.
Hmm.
He's very spoiled.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
Right.
But once he left college, the reality of, I think he's found out there's certain things money can't buy, which means he has to earn that spot. He's used to being on top, and but he found out that, man, you got to work. You got to put the work in. And I think reality has set in and has caught up with him, and because of his lifestyle, his
Yeah.
focus and his energy was over here with his lifestyle versus understanding
Hmm.
that if you want to do this, then these are the things that you have to do. So I don't
But
know if it's too late for
but
that or if that's possible.
yeah, Charles, is what you tell every young athlete. Every young athlete have heard the same thing. And I think we talk about it in coaching. A lot of coaches are the cause for some of the attitudes that you see in the players, or having not corrected some of the attitudes that they've seen in players, and to come away believing that they're bigger than the game that they're playing. And they might be at that amateur level, and then as they progress, I've seen athletes be given a pass just simply because of his talent. But I also believe is that if the young man or young lady does not continue to work on their game, on the craft of their game, it will catch up with them because you're running to somebody else who has spent more time actually perfecting the game than you walking around trying to wear crowns about who you are. And even though, and Kobe Bryant was talking about, he was having a conversation with Nick Saban from Alabama, the process of success. If he felt like he had to work every day to prove not to anybody but to himself that he could reach his goals and he was worthy of being there, he continued to work. Those great athletes, well, no matter what sport you pick, the key point that I think a lot of young athletes miss is they continue to work at it. They don't get to a point and say, well, I've arrived. Most NBA, NFL players will tell you getting there was one thing, staying there is yet another.
Right.
Because so you got to put in work. You can't stop being raising your IQ. You can't stop working. And I hear this more now. I've always been a proponent of this, but I'm hearing it more. Taking care of your body, taking care of your body, getting the proper rest, watching what you eat, continuing to exercise and learn about your game, learn the craft of your game. We don't. We you talk about and you talk about it, that instant effect. Well, I know when I get there, I'm gonna be good at it. You will, but there are a lot of other people if they're good. And what keeps you there is keep working. And I think a lot of times what they do, I've arrived. I'm on the first team. I'm starting, and next thing halfway through the season, they're bench. Why? Because you're not doing anything.
Well,
You know,
well now,
your reputation got you here, but you haven't. Your actual performance will have to keep you there.
when I'm coaching, and I've coached, remember I told you that I coached the girls,
Hmm.
and when I started, they were 9, and it got on up to about 15, so on. But when talking and coaching young people, and I would ask this question, and I know, Vince, that it really doesn't register, but you try to get them to think about it. So I asked this question. I said, how many players you think your age right now is playing basketball? And they'll sit there and they'll look. And so I said, now, if I really gather all the players that's playing basketball your age or around your age, and I'll be like at the park, it would fill up this park. And
Hmm.
they look. And so I said, so my question to you is, if this park is full of players that's trying to play this game, what's going to make you stand out from all those other players where you're going to be an edge up, or what's going to place you in a place to say that I should pick you? And some of them, they kind of look and they go, and I said, you know what? I said, if you putting in 2 hours a day, there's somebody putting in 4. And for those who's putting in 4, there's somebody putting in 6. And so you try to get them to understand that concept. And the funny thing is, Vince, and you and I both know there's some of them that get it and some of them that don't.
It's still true today. It hasn't changed, and it really hasn't changed. The same principles are being said still, and with the amount of basketball, if we're talking about the sport of basketball, you're playing basketball year round. You're playing football year round. You're playing baseball year round. Playing volleyball year round. If you want to get better, there's a way to do it. Now, I do think sometimes kids are overexposed. They're playing too much. They're not allowing their body to rest and to rejuvenate it. And sometimes they aren't balancing, proper rest, proper diet, proper nutrition, proper exercise. Just play, 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 play. And sometimes they may be improving their physical play, but not their best, not their IQ acumen. So I think that's the challenge today. But what you were said then is still retained. It still pertains to today. Why would I play you over this guy? What's the difference? But show me or tell me, or let me see the difference between you two guys that would make me choose one over this. So why would I choose you? Not a room of 100. It's one on one. Why would I take you? Why would I take you over this other guy? The two of you play the same position. Why should I play you and not him? Okay. Now, basketball IQ, if we're talking about the game of basketball or baseball or volleyball or football, IQ is important, physical ability to compete. But that desire, man,
Yeah.
where does your desire, that complete, a total embodiment or embracing the sport and really getting out there? And I think in student athletes, you got to also include being a student and that athlete at the same time. So it's the same song. It's the same song. I mean, whether you play AAU sport, high school sport, collegiate sport. I mean, I even hear, I've listened to training camp conversation from the NFL. I'm hearing the same stories I've heard all my career in sports. It hasn't changed. So it's still the right way to approach it. But again, you got to remind these kids that this is what it takes to really be good at what you want to do. It's a
Wanted
lot
to
of
ask,
sacrifice.
yeah, wanted to ask you. I know some may have been surprised, but did you hear the speech that the president of Maryland gave about that young man's death? Did
I
you hear his
did.
speech? What
I
did you
did
think
hear
of his
that.
speech?
I was, you know what? It stand up and comment about the loss of a player. That in itself, to me, is a very difficult task. I understand taking the ownership of it and saying the school is at fault, which you normally don't hear that. You normally hear some, we're going to get to it, and if, ands, and maybe. He's come right out and say, listen, we made a huge, huge mistake that was very, very costly. For that, I thought was very unique, very direct, uh, way of approach, accepting the fact that without question we made a mistake, and now at this high cost, what can we do to prevent this from happening again? I was taken by that, to be honest with you,
Right. Yeah. Because
and I was sitting there thinking, if I was a parent, beyond my grief, um, how would that make me feel to hear them? First of all, we're not going to have a controversy over what I did and did not do. I didn't do the right thing to take care of your son. That's got to be some relief to the family, so now they can get on to grieving, and let's not have all this controversy about who, what, why. He cleared up all of that. He said, we did it. So now the family can get some peace about begin the grieving process and try to get past this very difficult time. And my heart just goes out to them, and my heart goes out to the coaching staff and the other players,
right
especially the family, because that's a huge tragedy.
now, I'm going. I mean, we know how we are. That topic, that itself, is a show
Mm.
by itself, Vince. Honestly, because
Yes, yeah.
we are taught that mentality. It's a little different now, just like the game has changed. Uh, all the games have changed when it comes to today's athlete versus back in the day when we
Hmm.
uh, would have been, our neck would have been hanging, like this, and we still would have
Yeah,
been
still
doing the
playing.
game.
Yeah, and everybody was okay with that.
Right. And the whole philosophy that you better not quit, you can't quit, you got to
Mm.
give it, you got to go that extra, da 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 da. And so, growing up in Florida, playing in the heat, playing in the summer, we played basketball in the summer. You know, it was normal. So
Very much so.
right. So when I think of the fact that a coach is trying to push you, and you are used to that, and that's the mentality of being pushed, and you have to cross that finish line. You can't give up. I can remember when I was in 11th grade and I didn't even know it. The guy Westbrook, I always remember, and gave me an elbow and caught me and cut me, but I had no
Hmm.
idea. I mean, I got hit
Hmm.
with the elbow, and then all of a sudden I'm running down court, and the coach looking at me like, and I never forget to look on him. I'm like, why are you looking at me? Because I had blood coming down my face,
Hmm.
and I didn't
Hmm.
know it. So he called timeout. He said, come here. And I'm like, what? Well, come on, we got to clean you up. No, coach, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But because, I'm taught like, so what? I got, what? I caught an elbow right here and I'm bleeding, and, okay, I just wipe it off, but that's the mentality of how we was taught to play, and, so, and I
but we
say
weren't.
that to say, for the conditioning coach who resigned. So I'm saying, do you think that he could have survived this? And it's just a personal opinion, yay or nay. I don't know. And I don't know if the
You,
coach
you,
is gonna survive.
oh, you mean well? Obviously, when there's an admission of guilt like that, not too many people gonna survive, because he's saying that we made a grave mistake. So somebody's going to take the fault for that.
Right.
Obviously, somebody did something wrong. Because Charles, I can tell you, the amount of time now is spent on with coaches, coaching clinics, and especially at the high school level. We're talking. There's an awful lot of the media conversation. There's an awful lot of how parent conversation, how you're dealing with families and stuff. But an awful lot is talked about how you handle that young man on the field as well. Because you gotta get the most out of them, but they're really trying to put a science to it, or at least make coaches aware of the science of how you've got to give them a certain amount of breaks. You got to make sure they're hydrated. We want to try to take care of this kid from a physical standpoint to be able to detect some of the things that happens to them. Uh, Sometimes you know about them, sometimes you don't. But it's a lot of science now, and they talk about that a lot. It's still, again, the game that you're playing, whatever game it is, whatever sport it is still about being prepared to do that. And on the way you do it, practice, scrimmages, and conditioning and stuff, you got to do it. Sometimes you're unaware that this kid has a particular uh, physical condition. Don't know it sometimes, but
Right.
if you aren't hydrating them and not giving them enough breaks and stuff like that, you are increasing the opportunity for them something tragic to happen. That's what I think is the problem, is because the science is there. And I know if we're getting that kind of information at high school, I know collegiate coaches are getting it, and then to take that mentality, yeah, you got to push them. You got to, but you got to know when to push and you got to know when to pull back. You got to know when to get his kid a break. And sometimes if he's not performing, take him out. Let him just relax for a minute, and see if we can get it. Maybe we don't get there today. And,
Right.
and it's not a punishment, it's a correction. You aren't able to function at the level I need you to. So you're not physically ready, or you're feeling all right. Maybe mentally you're not ready. Well, I'm gonna set you out, and I'm gonna go on. So that's what makes it hard. One of the things that make it very difficult is understanding, and that's the responsibility of the coach, the conditioning coach, the head coach, the position coach. Sometimes you got to go in and say, "Hey, coach, you might want to give them a break. Or you want to take this kid out right here," or something like that. So with the science and all the football, all of the coaching IQ and the game IQ, whatever your sport is, you still got to be sensitive to that, and you got to watch them, because a lot of times kids won't tell you. And I understand that. I was an athlete, and if I had that pain, I'm not mentioning that because I want to play. But like you were saying earlier, you don't, with the AIDS epidemic, so a kid bleeding now is a very sensitive situation. Concussion protocols. I mean, oh man, I mean, we talked about that many times. I can't tell you the number of kids that I believe have had concussion, perhaps even myself, back when I was playing football. A lot of that's what that science is coming in and saying, hey, we got to protect that. This kid, he's just playing the game, but this is the things that happens to him. We got to find a way to protect that. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't have any control over the outcome of that, but that's what the science is telling us. So, we're trying to adhere, as a coach, I know we're trying our best to get the most out of the kid, but at the same time protect them.
Yeah. It's it's, it's pretty. That's man. And I know the athletic director. He stood up and gave a speech as well. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
the coach is going to survive this. I don't know.
He may not. I mean, some of what I've read, it's just situation. Now, you look at that situation and you consider what's going on at Ohio State with Meyer and the domestic violence situation. That's almost the same thing to some degree. The outcome is not as drastic, but it could be.
Right.
Then to acknowledge that and not say something about it is protecting. It's still protecting. That's what coaches do. We want to protect our athlete on the field and off the field. Then you got to look out for your coaching staff. And what I have been impressed with over the years is how much these leagues, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, really look into the family. You got a guy out there that's harming his family. You can't ignore that. Because if you ignore that, then you ignore a situation that happened on the field. That's something that Meyer has been accused of with Hernandez. It's turning his head because we want the performance. We're not going to deal with the behavior. what I think today you're seeing a comment. I got to deal with the performance and the behavior. So I'm glad to see there's some sensitivity to that effect. I really don't. I am saddened that someone had to sacrifice their life to get our attention. But that's where I think we hopefully we make the best out of it by learning from that experience to improve the experience of others.
But this usually happens once a year, though, Vince. I mean, something like this usually
Yeah.
happens
Oh
once a
yeah.
year,
Yeah. High school level, at a high
right?
school
Yeah,
level, especially football.
right.
But see, a lot of that has to do. Well, I'm not. I can't categorically say that. But a lot of times, kids come in not ready to play. They have not done their own personal conditioning. Then they come in and want to and think they can get it all at that time. Life choices that they make that sometimes have something to do with that. And then to the worst part of it all, coaches not being sensitive and not doing their job properly.
All right. Yeah. So, uh, your your friend Carmelo signed a
Uh-huh.
1 year contract. So,
Yeah,
so
that's going to be interesting. He and D'Antonio get a chance to be on the same sideline again together. Didn't work out too well in New York, but they seem to think it's going to work out better there in Houston. We'll see.
I still
I
say
don't think so.
I have
I don't
yet
think
to
so.
see Carmelo play on a team where he is, and I'm telling you, it's not that I'm not a Carmelo Anthony fan. That's not it. But what team has he been on that he has made a team better? I haven't seen it. As a matter of
Well,
fact, he left the Knicks, and I think the Knicks has less talent than they. I I, I think that the Knicks had more talent than they do now, and the Knicks are better when he was there. And I think they had more talent, and now they have less talent, and they're a better team.
well, I think what you say is true. I 100% agree with that, and I definitely don't feel like he plays any defense. Never played any defense from Syracuse all the way through up to today. But here in the Houston organization, they can hide him, or at least they could hide him. I think they got rid of a couple of defensive players that could make a difference. But in their rebuilding process, there's possibility to hide him defensively while you want to hope that he can produce offensively. That challenge. I want to see how they make that happen. If he can score the ball, he really brings a lot to them. So it's going to be old D'Antonio style. We're gonna outscore you more than to stop you from scoring. We're just going to score more points than you. Although I must admit they are playing better defense. I don't think it's his coaching style. I think it's the players that he has who are defensive minded now. But they could hide Carmelo. He could be hidden on the out there, and that I think is going to be the strategy. Now they talk about him coming off the bench.
Right.
I want to see that. I think that's probably the best thing for him. And then that makes it easier for them to hide and they can stretch him out.
But
Especially if he has a good offensive game, if he comes out hot, he could be a true factor. And you could almost overlook his lack of defense because of his offensive production. But he's got to be productive.
um, how many years is he's been in the league? 17, 15, 15,
I think
15
it's
years?
15.
What,
Yeah,
what,
I think it is 15.
well, Vince, they've been hiding him for 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no question about it. The problem that they've had for those 15 is thinking he could play defense. That's the problem. That was the problem.
And the thing is, I,
Someone actually
I've
believed
always
that
been a fan, but he's just one of these guys who came into the league and never really got better, and never made anybody else better. You know,
well, a lot of them are like that. A lot of those guys are like that. They bring a unique. I think the player today has to be opposite. One of my specialization, but we also talk. But the game of basketball is the flow of the game. You got to be able to play both sides of to some degree. Now, you don't find very many players that are highly proficient both ends of the floor, although you do have some. So this guy's got to be his IQ has got to if his performance is mediocre, his IQ's got to be really high. if you can play the game with a high IQ, you can be in the right place at the right time. That can make a difference. Um, I never felt that was Carmelo's strength. I never felt like he wanted to do that. I think he thought, I'll just score it. Y'all defended it, but I'll put the ball in the hole. And if you can get that balance, and he's shooting it that way, yeah, you might be able to win. I don't think you win championships like that, but you can have a winning season. So we'll see.
Have you
Really
been
does,
seeing? Have you been seeing Steph on the golf course, man? Man, he been. I mean,
man.
like, wow, wow.
Well, I gotta say, Steph is better than Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley should stop playing golf. He kills the game of golf, but still, I think Steph is having some fun out there.
Yeah. Well, now see, now you made me. Now you're gonna, because of that, you made me think of another crazy question. Have you been
Hmm.
following Tebow on the baseball field?
I was at first. I think he got hurt. Did he not get hurt? Last I
Oh, you know
heard,
what?
he had
I don't know. Did he?
injured himself,
Oh, really?
and in a game, and that kind of lost track of him because I really want, considering the type of athlete that young man was, and his desire to be the best that he could be caused me, and I like his faith-based approach to life, and the way he's approached the sport. I was kind of watching him a little bit because he was doing some pretty good stuff out there for a minute, but he got injured. And the best of my knowledge, he is not returned yet. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he's come back yet. So, because I was kind of looking forward to see him. I made somebody's roster, and I just wanted to see him play.
Yeah.
I kind of like Tebow. I like him. He's calm about it. He don't make a lot of fuss. He just get out there and try to get it done.
Yeah. So, have you been? Do you follow the WNBA?
A little bit. I really get caught up in it from time to time. I like some of the players out there, and I watch some of the teams. It's actually not bad basketball. I
Right.
mean, and it also helps me to get my basketball fix right about now. There's no other ball going on. Now the big three, that's been exciting. Watching some of the former NBA players get out there and play. You got Nancy Lieberman's coaching a team, and they're doing very well in the big three. That's another fix. But I also like the WNBA as well.
Now, did you see? I just happened to catch the highlight, sort of, kinda. Did you see the basketball player last night that kicked the ball into the stands and then he gave the audience the finger? Did you see
No,
that last night on ESPN?
I, I did not see that.
I mean, I had the sound
Was that
down.
from the big three? Was
No,
that from
no,
the
no,
big
no,
three?
no. No. This was a 5-on-5 game. I don't know where it was from, but they put up his name like I guess he's a known
Was
player.
it out of? They were doing
And
something in Africa. They had the African African versus
so
international
some
ball.
yeah,
Some
something
of the
happened.
NBA players were playing in that.
And then he took the ball from the official, kicked it, and put it in the stands. And they threw him out. And then he was walking out. Then he started giving the finger to the audience. I'm like, boy, but Vince, like, boy, ooh, I couldn't see.
Well,
I
that's the
couldn't
kind
hear
of
coach.
stuff. That's the kind of stuff the league is trying to clean up. Did you also notice that in LeVar Ball's league, he had a coach that pushed the player, grabbed and pushed the player because of a mistake that he made. They ended up kicking him out of the league. That's you got to clean that up. And for LeVar Ball to do that, who I think is a knucklehead himself, but
Right,
for him to do that, it's integrity to the lead and to the effort because you don't want that kind of a guy as a coach. And you don't want players that do that kind of stuff. They don't need to be there. They're bad for the game. Whatever sport they're playing, they're bad for it. If you react that way, everybody gets about a call 100%. Coaches and players, yes. And sometimes they're not good calls. They're bad calls. But we're looking for you to handle yourself in a certain level of professionalism because again, there's some kid watching you and thinking that's the way I'm going to handle it too. I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Right.
and it's just bad. See, that's to me that's something. If I'm a coach, I don't want him back. I'm
It's
trying to
fun.
get him traded today.
Right. Yeah. As a matter of fact,
Today.
my pastor's brother, he's been coaching basketball and football. His way of giving back.
Hmm.
And for the last 2 or 3 years, he asked me to come out to coach, and so I've come out to see a couple of his games. So when I called him today, he said, "Hey man, the season getting ready to start up. You gonna coach?" I said, Ron, let me come and shadow you for a minute. I mean, shadow you for a second. I just want to watch you because I got to mentally prep myself to deal with these kids of this day and age. So I just want to come and shadow you just to, I don't want to coach. I don't want to give you any comments. I just want to sit and observe. And I just want to watch because I got to mentally put myself in the right place to see if I can do it because the kids are like 13, 14 years old. And I know it's me, because I came up in a different era, different way of coaching. It's different now. So I just said, let me come watch. I'll be quiet. You won't even know I'm there. And so, but I do want to. So I think the best way for me to just kind of come in, observe, and just take it from there.
Well, more coaches, more guys who are saying that they want to coach need to do that. You need to really step back and look at that because it's true. You're not going to be able to do it the way it used to be done. I've talked to so many people talking about when I came along, it was this way and that way, and I completely understand that, and I agree with what they're saying, but it's different now. And you a lot of the problems that you have out there sometimes are not the players, it's coaches, and so you got to adapt yourself to it. Some in certain areas where you may be coaching, it's even tougher because of parent involvement, school administration involvement, regulations and are different. You have to make sure. I challenge everybody. I challenge myself. Are you sure this is what you want to do, given the circumstances and limitations? Can you be as effective as you want to be under these conditions? So I have to reiterate, and I commend you for that because you've been out of this now. I've been in it. I've been
Right.
constant. I've stayed in it. You're thinking of coming back, even at the amateur level. You got to really think about this because it's different.
Right.
Kids are different. The more organized it is, the more rules they are different. Kids are different. Kids are definitely different. I mean, we can talk about kids all day. I think. I mean, kids are different, and it's something to think about. It's something to really think about because, and then too, you got to learn to control yourself.
Right.
I had a lot of time. I'm thinking, I really ought to. There's something I really want to tell you, but I can't say that. Or there's something I'd like to do with you, but I can't do that. So you have to find other ways to have a positive impact while getting your point across.
Right.
That's a good move on yours. Let me see. If I can be effective
Right.
coaching
Yeah.
today's kids.
Because
Because
yeah,
I'm gonna be
because I
honest
know
with you,
times have
there's some
changed.
people I know. There's I know that they've just flat out said I couldn't do it. I can't do it. I went to my son's game as a parent, and I had to lead the game. They just couldn't. They could. So that kind of guy doesn't need to be coaching kids.
Right. Right.
And some of us don't recognize that we're not good for them. We love it, but we just not good for them. And so you got to really check yourself. So that's a good move on your part.
Okay. All right. Are you ready for the 3 minute sprint?
Listen, man, I did a sprint earlier just to make sure I was ready for this sprint. So I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go. Right here. All right. All right. You ready? Okay. Is there anyone you ever met that made you nervous?
Yes, Kurt. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna call out some sports team, and I want you to pick out the one you think has the best fans that are more dedicated. Red Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, White Sox, Cubs, Browns, Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, the Raiders, the Lakers, the Knicks, or the Celtics? Which
I think it's
the
the Browns. I think the Browns because they have suffered the most, yet they still come and pack the stadium out.
okay,
Because so for them, it's not about winning loss. It's about loyalty to the team, and they're suffering.
okay. I was gonna say either the Cubs or the Browns. Okay, can
Yeah.
do you remember the first time you saw the movie Shaft?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you tell me who is Pretty Tony?
At this moment, I cannot recall that.
Okay, give me your favorite Curtis Mayfield song.
Superfly.
Alrighty then. Have you ever seen Aretha Franklin live?
No, I honestly can say I have not had that experience.
Okay. Back in the day, James Brown used to do the camel walk. Did you?
Hmm. I did what I thought was the camel walk, but I really think I was doing. I was certainly trying. I was giving effort.
All right. But did you pass the P's?
I thought so. I mean, I thought I did.
Okay. What year did you give up the fro?
1967 when I went there.
19 what?
67.
You gave up the fro. What mean what year?
1967.
Really? Oh man, you gave up the fro early.
Uh-huh.
Real early. Oh,
Went in the military. Uncle Sam made sure I got rid of
oh,
the fro.
okay, okay. Oh, okay. Did you, oh yeah, okay. All right. Did you ever wear a shag?
No,
You had to think about that
no,
one.
yeah, no. I didn't have to think about that at all. No, I
Oh
never
really?
did that.
Okay.
No.
All right. When was the last time you and Oliver was in D-Land together?
Ooh, that's been a good 20 years ago. And apart, we spent an awful lot apart, but it's been about 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what? Less than that. Less than that. When my mother passed,
Okay.
we were there together. So it's been less than 20.
Oh,
It's been 20. Yeah,
okay.
but it's been a while. But we were always in different parts of the hemisphere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But people that don't know, Oliver is his brother. Um, and hopefully we're going to have
Oliver Lee.
Oliver. What people don't know is Oliver has played a significant part, and once we talk to Oliver, then you'll understand why we want to talk to Oliver. See, because I got some stuff that
Mm,
Oliver don't know that I know, because I mean I'm going way
mm,
back. He has no idea that I know what I know, you know. But
okay.
yeah, right, right. I'm serious because when I came to school in Daytona, I had no idea who Oliver Lee was, but they schooled me real quick.
Hmm.
So once I found out
Hmm.
who Oliver Lee was, I was like, oh, okay. Then something that I want to talk about when you get him on the show that I'm going to bring to his attention because he probably don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he does once you tap into it, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he
yeah,
it's got to do with that ball. He
he
remembers
would
it.
be a great person to talk to
Hmm.
for sure. So please let me know. Oh, by the way,
Hmm.
Pretty Tony. Pretty Tony
Okay.
is from the Mac. Remember there was the Mac and then there was Pretty Tony. Because a lot of people was talking about, man, maybe Pretty Tony should have been the Mac in the movie.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I do remember that. I do
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Remember? Yeah, I mean, you remember Pretty
I
Tony, right?
do. Yeah. Well, again, there was that time when I thought I could have fit that role. It was just a thought. It did not last long.
Oh man, man, going back to some of those movies from Shaft to Charleston Blue Come Back,
Hmm.
Across 110th Street, all those
Right.
movies, man, back in the day, and like I look at some of these movies now, and I'm like, boy, no wonder we messed up.
Yeah. Progress brings a lot of change, and some of it's good and some of it's bad. But we got to stay up with the latest. Got to make that move. But some of your best movies are based on your that old time, if you will, that old culture. Because I think most people see it as new, but many of us know that it's old. It's just a new version of it. Because very little has changed. I mean, there are some
Right,
challenges that we face on and off the playing field that still exist to this day. The success on the field, you can go back and find that success way back when. Those winning formulas are the same. They have not changed. I think the athlete more than anything has changed. The formulas of success have not changed. It's just been adapted to today's athlete.
right. The funny thing is, believe it or not, on the list, which we will talk about next week. But remember, I told
Hmm.
you that I wanted you to talk about the pro am. That's on my list, but we're going to
Hmm.
talk about that next week. But I was looking, and there there have been a couple of injuries in the NFL that has happened in the preseason that I think that's going to affect some of the teams there. You know,
That's the risk. That's why they had in their last collective bargaining agreement. That's why they reduced the number of preseason games because with the training camp and although they don't hit very much in training camp anymore either, they tried to adjust that to take some of that pressure off of those guys' bodies. But when you go out there in preseason, I mean, guys are trying to make the team. They're getting that look that might help them, if not get on that team, some other team, and you run that risk of injury. You run that risk of injury, and I just, I'm like, man, I just, I'm always disappointed because I just feel like you want everybody to have a chance, but sometimes it's just fate. It just happens that way, and it's costly. They try not to put their starters in too much. They try to get some work, give them some work on the field, but you
right?
want to try to get them out of there as fast as possible. But sometimes it doesn't work because they got to get out there. It's a necessary evil, and everybody go out there holding their breath that we get through this with no injury. You always hear those guys say that. I hope we can get through this with no injury. And that's rookies as well as mostly returning veterans.
Okay. Hey, listen, this past weekend, I was telling you that I actually went home to Jacksonville and had a chance to see some old friends. But I wanted to share
Hmm.
this with you, Vince. If you pay close attention right here, if you pay close, see that lady right there, that one there. Wait a minute, she
But across the
the
screen,
yeah, the one to the left, right there in the middle
in
now,
the, yeah, in the black dress.
in
No, I
the
mean the grayish
right,
dress.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
What that party is for her, and I wanted to share this with you real quick. But yeah. Heard this. I'm going to try to move over to the side in a minute. But the family came together in Jacksonville, and Vince, she's 90 years old.
She's
She's not.
90
Yeah,
and she
see,
don't act like she's 90.
she's 90 years
Yeah,
old, man.
I tell you what, I'm extremely excited
Yeah,
at
yeah.
75 to be able to do what she's doing 90.
Yep, she's 90, and I mean, she's just now earlier. She's part of a dance troupe that they were dancing earlier, right? And she came out there and she joined them, and she was in her heels while they was doing the dance routine.
Mm.
So,
And you look at her, she looks in good health. She's smiling. Her
right,
movement by no way indicates her age.
right,
That's impressive all by itself.
right, yeah, and you would never know uh, just from her just being who she is that she was
Hmm.
90 years old.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's impressive. That is, I mean, she and she looks. You can tell that she looks comfortable. In other words, she hadn't just started dancing; she's been dancing a while. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you,
yeah. And and,
yeah,
and, and see, that's the thing. As part of the dance troupe, one of the ladies that came in there was giving her props because she was teaching her. And she said
hmm
everybody else coming there with these little shoes, these flat shoes on, and she always, over the years, have always danced in heels. She's the only one, but they made her take off her shoes. Then her
yeah, I
daughter
see
made it.
right there. She barefoot right there, but it's not
Yeah,
stopping her from getting that step in.
right, right. But her daughter made her take off her
Mhm.
shoes.
She looks good,
Yeah,
and
yeah. So
I
I
love her
really
out there
enjoyed
getting it.
myself there. They had a really nice time, and the food was good too.
That always adds to it. Good food always makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that real quick. So, and the
They
family
say
had a nice
age,
time.
they say age is just a number,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just
All
a
right,
number.
Vince, man. We didn't get a chance to get to the pro am, but we will next week. And because I want you to break that thing down and let people know about it. And I know they miss you this summer. Uh, your crew and how well you guys had organized that thing, man.
Yeah, that's another testimony to a great group of guys coming together and really doing a terrific job. I've had some great staff there. I mean, they really embraced that thing and really took it, and I think took it to another level their dedication to it. And not to mention some of the players that we had that
Right, and
came and
that's
really added a
and
lot to it.
right, and that's one of the things that I want you to talk about. Some of the players that came through. So you're all ready
Hmm.
for? School have started. We didn't
Oh
actually talk
yeah,
about. I guess we don't have to talk about your knee anymore because I guess you. You
I'm
got your
almost there.
vertical back. You got your
Well,
vertical back
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm at the same. That hadn't changed. The same vertical I had before, I still have now, even with the bad leg. Verticals never change. I could actually jog a little bit. I actually messed around there today in adaptive PE. We were doing a hula hoop race, and
Okay.
I had two kids that I was trying to get to be involved. And I looked up, and I was running on the court. I stopped and started celebrating because I forgot. I got excited with them, and here I am running up and down the court. I'm like, now isn't this a blessing? Amen. So yeah, we're
Man.
getting there. We're getting there.
Okay.
We're coming strong too.
All right. Well, again, we're Youth Central Sports with Charles Morse and Vince Carter. We ask you to like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we're here every Wednesday at 11 p.m. And we talk some any and everything that pertains to sports. And as you know, my partner here in crime, he is the original Coach Carter. The original Coach Carter.
We thank y'all for joining us and do stay with us. Glad to have you a part of our family.
All right, Vince. Enjoy the rest of. I should say, all of you enjoy the rest of your week, and Vince enjoy the rest of your week as well.
Thank you. You too.